Hey everyone, what is up? It is Avery, and welcome to Teendom Talk Show, the talk show for the kids, the teens, and everyone in between. So, I don't know why I'm talking so low. I think if you're a new viewer, hi, I'm Avery, but also if you are a constantly watching continuous viewer, you will probably be able to tell that I am in a different setting right now. So for your information, I am not in Chicago. I am currently in Georgia right now for the weekend. So I am in a different setting, but do not worry. I'm still here to bring you all another show. Once again, there have been so many technical issues today. Like, I do not understand. I've started 10 minutes late. This is the first time I've started a Teendom Talk show so late since like the beginning of season 1. So I'm so sorry about that. I think that's something that I care about more than you guys may care about, but sorry for that, for the tardiness again. And I hope that you all will enjoy today's episode. We have a lot in store, but at the same time, I know that our guests who we are supposed to have on, the amazing Jasmin S, Searcy, Pate, she is currently not in the meeting right now. So hopefully she will be able to join us. But if not, I still want to be able to share all of the amazing work that she has done with you all and a lot of other things. So just stay tuned for that. And also, it is the beginning of April. It is April Fool's Day. And something that I'm very deeply upset about is I took a road trip to Georgia. So therefore, I was not at school today. And I really wanted to just pull some strings with some people. So a bit sad about that, but it is the beginning of a brand new month. I hope that this month will provide everybody with health, wealth, prosperity, that everybody in their family will be safe. I know that that's what I'm praying for this month. And I want to be able to set some new goals for myself. I feel like one of my New Year's resolutions at the beginning of 2022 was to set some new goals for myself every month. So that is currently what I'm planning to do. So I'll get back to you guys next week on what that is. And speaking of next week, yes, I know we have a lot of announcements today. Next week is the Teendom Talk Show 2-year anniversary. I just don't believe it. Like, it's honestly mind-blowing to me that we have made it to 2 years. Not that I thought that we weren't going to, because I knew that we were going to, but just to see the way that we have immensely grown, it just makes me so incredibly happy. So I am just so excited and glad that I am going to be able to celebrate with you guys. So make sure to let me know on my Instagram at Ask Avery K or in the comment section of this Teendom Talk Show episode, what are some things that you may want to see? I have something in mind. Did something a little similar last year, and I know that you guys really enjoyed it, and especially since so many new people have joined the Teendom Talk Show era since then, you may enjoy this as well. So I have some things in mind, but let me know if there's anything specific that you want to be able to see on our 2-year anniversary next week, because it's a big one. I'm very excited. So something that I want to touch on first before going into something else that I really want to be able to touch on with you guys is Academy Award season. I love the Grammys. Like, I like watching the performances a lot. I really do. And they are upcoming. And I have some predictions that I want to be able to share. And I want to be able to document them, mainly because if these people that I predict actually win, then I will have proof saying that I predicted it beforehand. Main reason why I'm doing this, but also I want to share with you guys. So for record of the year, and I'm just going to share 3 of my predictions for 3 different categories. For record of the year, I feel as if it may be Kiss Me More, Doja Cat featuring SZA, Driver's License, or Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic. I feel like it's going to be one out of the 3. So I just want to put that out there. So I think that it can be Kiss Me More, Doja Cat and SZA, Driver's License, Olivia Rodrigo, or Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic. Hands down, Silk Sonic, they're performing, I believe. And I need to see that. Like, I'm living to see that. So I definitely think that they have a chance. For album of the year, I think that Back of My Mind, Her. I really love that album. So I feel like it may have a chance. Sour, Olivia Rodrigo, Donda, Kanye West, or Evermore, Taylor Swift. I think that one of those 4 are going to win. Just because they're so heavily popular. They're all really good albums. Every single album that was nominated is really good, but I definitely think that those 4 are the main ones that will have the strongest chance. And then, you know what? No, I'm going to do 4 predictions. So then there's Song of the Year. I think Driver's License may win that one again. Yeah, I think Driver's License may win that one again, mainly because Olivia Rodrigo, she is young. She is doing it. She has created a whole name for herself with the Sour album and did a fantastic job with it. And Driver's License, it was just a hit song. It really was. Like, for her to be nominated for so many Grammy Awards is fantastic. And I think that she will have a very, very, very strong chance with Song of the Year. And that will lead me into, oh, there's a car outside. I hope that you guys didn't hear that too loud. And then Best Pop / Duo Group Performance. I don't know if it's me being a little bit biased or me just stating the facts here, but I think that BTS is going to win for that one. I really do. And the reason for that is they're opening the Grammys, and Butter kind of just took not just like the US or Korea, but like it kind of just took the whole world by storm this past year and still a little bit into this year. So I think that they definitely will have a big chance. And also they're performing, they're sitting in the front row of the Grammys. Like, I kind of just think that they're going to win. So those are my main 4 Grammy predictions. I wanted to be able to share those with you guys before getting into our main topic for today, just because it's something that I really enjoy doing, like predictions for award shows. I didn't do it for this previous award show, but I do know that for the Grammys, predictions are a big one, and I'm really looking forward to the performances. So I will be watching on Sunday, and hopefully they're really good. Hopefully my expectations are met. I think that they will be, but hopefully they are met. Now, leading a little bit more into our topic for this episode, talking a lot about self-care and the importance of mental health. So one thing that I know at the beginning of this year that I wasn't even really struggling with, but just something I knew I wanted to get better at, was taking out time for myself. I'm a person, I love to work. I don't really see like work per se, like what I do as work. I'm more associated as what I enjoy, what I love, my crafts. But I do also know that sometimes it can be a little bit much. It can be a little bit stressful at times. It can be, especially when you're doing it a lot. So taking out time for myself and finding out things that I enjoy besides just work is very beneficial to me. Just sitting back, relaxing, watching TV, watching YouTube, watching TikTok, making me a nice little snack, relaxing, sleeping. Sleeping is a big one. It's a very underrated self-care skill, by the way. But just taking out that necessary time for yourself is very important. And I really, really want to be able to touch on that today. Unfortunately, our amazing guest, Ms. Jasmin, is not here to be able to chat with us at the very moment, which I'm so sad for, but I still want to be able to share all the amazing work that she is doing with you all. So I'm going to screen share her website really quick. Also, her website and social medias are in the link of this Teendom Talk Show episode. So hopefully she'll be able to join us in the future. But Jasmin Searcy Pate, she is a licensed child pediatric psychologist. So she is someone that children and like people who are youth underage, so like my age, like 6, like 17, can go to her to be able to talk about different issues. And she will also help educate within the importance of mental health for yourself, because there are so many different aspects to mental health that still are constantly being explored. And one thing that she has recently done, which is fantastic, she is the author of a children's book called Olivia Takes a Mental Health Day. And as the website says, it provides assessment and evidence-based treatment interventions, kind of talking about different ways that youth of our age can be able to prioritize their mental health, which is something that is so awesome. And it is so cool. I'm going to share with you guys also the artwork for this book as well, because it was illustrated by Anita DeFala, I believe is how you pronounce it. I love the illustration. I think that it is so cute. But as you can see, we have little Olivia on the front of the cover. She's taking a mental health day for herself. And I feel, even though it's a children's book, and I may be 14 years old, people here are maybe watching this and they may be over my age, they may be younger my age, but still not be super duper heavily into children's books. But even though it is something that still has a bunch of illustrations and maybe a minor amount of words on the page, it still comes with such an important message of talking about about our mental health, which is something I feel as if all of us should take time out to do. And one thing that I want to know from you guys, the audience here, is what are some different ways that you prioritize your mental health? I'm also going to put a poll out on my Instagram stories just because I want to be able to hear this so you guys can connect and figure out some ways that you may find more beneficial and helpful to help you with your mental health, or take a mental health day like Olivia does in the book. And also, I kind of want to know some too, because I always want to find ways to prioritize myself, because I don't even know if that's a word. Prioritization. Yeah, that's a word. Okay. So prioritization is very, very important, especially in the crazy world that we're living in, because the world is a scary place. And one thing also that I just have to mention, the school system that I'm in, the CPS system, we now can take up to 5 mental health days a year. So, like when you're absent from school and you have to like either come up with an excuse, so it'll be an excused absence, or it's just an unexcused absence because you wanted to take some time for yourself. Now that's something that is actually available for students. So there are so many different tools out there that will allow you to be able to prioritize your mental health. And even if the most depressing, heart-wrenching, heartbreaking thing may have not occurred at that very moment, that doesn't mean you don't deserve a mental health day. You may just be going through a lot mentally. You may have a lot of homework piling up with a lot of different things that your family is expecting you to do, and you have to take care of all yourself. Like, it's a lot mentally draining. Like, it can be mentally draining for people. So just taking that time out for yourself to be like, okay, I'm gonna take a little rest day today. I'm just gonna watch some Netflix and eat some chips. Like, that is perfectly okay. And everyone deserves to have that moment for themselves at times. So never feel ashamed for doing that. And that is one thing that Miss Jasmin is definitely trying, and it's not even trying, it's definitely doing to be able to help. So I just really wanted to be able to highlight her on the show today. Hopefully she will be able to join us, but don't worry, the show is not going to be cut short today, because something else that I also recently learned about, and something that I've known about like all my entire life, is the Divine Nine. So the Divine Nine is different historically Black sororities and fraternities around the United States and they are so focused on the importance of mental health for not only college students, not just for members of the different sororities and fraternities a part of the Divine Nine, but just for everybody in general, and have been doing such awesome community service to be able to help. And I know that this is definitely the season where so many different young people are joining these sororities and fraternities. And we will be doing a Teendom talk show flashback, because I just want to be able to highlight this and touch on this topic. I'm so glad that my parents were able to share with me that there was that this is like the season for it. And we'll just be talking about and diving a little bit more into what is the Divine Nine, what sororities and fraternities are part of the Divine Nine, what does the Divine Nine even do? Like, what is it? For everybody out there that may not know, this is where you can learn, where you can hear it first, and you can learn about the different ways that the Divine Nine organizations are working to help maintain mental health. And I just want to highlight this because it's something that came to mind when I was also thinking of, okay, how else can I showcase how other organizations are out here promoting mental health for young people, for people that may be older than us, for the kids, the teens, and everyone in between, as Teendom Talk Show says. So we will be doing a Teendom Talk Show flashback. So make sure to kick up your legs, get some popcorn, because we'll be talking all about the Divine Nine here today. And I'm so excited to share this with you. So I'm going to stop talking now, and let's get into this Teendom Talk Show flashback. Hey guys, what is is Avery, and welcome to Teendom Talk Show, the talk show for the kids, the teens, and everyone in between. I hope that you guys have had a fantastic week. Valentine's Day was last weekend, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know that I did. I just primarily spent it in the house with my family. I ate some red velvet cake and strawberries, which is always delicious. And I just basically watched some soapy love movies, which honestly, who doesn't love that? And today I am so very excited to get into our episode. But first, I want to announce something that is very cool to me, guys. I just need to say this. We got our very first sponsorship, y'all. And let's give some snaps really quick. Let's give some quick snaps to the amazing virtual drum roll. Eating Well with Chef Cordell. I am so excited that we are able to be sponsored by them. So first, thank you so much to Chef Cordell. If you guys do not know, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and now it is turned into a sponsorship, and I cannot believe it. But today I wanted to be able to promote his teen after school virtual cooking camps. So right now is the early bird registration that actually ends today. So if you want to be able to sign up some teenagers that you know, or your kids, or even if you just want to be able to do it yourself, then feel free to go to Chef Cordell's website, which is chefcordell.com. The classes are Saturdays and Sundays, February 27th all the way through March 28th. So you have a full month full of weekend cooking classes. And I am letting you guys know now, and this is coming from someone that's taken his class in the past, that they are amazing. That your parents will probably never want to cook again after the amazing food you're going to make during this class. So make sure to go and sign up and join these classes. And I will make sure to have the website down in the chat below so you guys will all be able to see it and have the opportunity to be able to go and sign up for the classes. So thank you so much to Chef Cordell for sponsoring this episode of Teendom Talk Show. And with that, I am excited to get into this Teendom Talk Show episode where we will be talking to members of the Divine Nine Greek letter organizations, and these are a huge part of Black history that I wanted to be able to showcase and highlight throughout this Black History Month series that is going on Teendom. My parents are a part of Greek letter organizations, and I realize how important they are for Black history, so I wanted to be able to invite some members from the Divine Nine on with me today to talk about their organizations and also to let people know how important they are in Black history. So right now I am going to have the honor to be able to bring in some amazing people, and this is my first time having this many people in a Teendom Talk Show episode, so I'm just gonna hit the admit all button. So this is exciting. Okay, hi, can everyone see and hear me okay? Yes. Okay, hi. I'm trying to wait to everyone. Okay, because there's still some people connecting to the audio. Okay. Hi, everyone. How is everybody?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited to be able to talk to all of you today. I know it's a lot of you, but I still want everyone to be able to introduce themselves. So let's just jump right into it. So you guys can go, and if you want me to choose the order, then that works. But you guys can go to no particular order. Just introduce yourself, what organization you're a part of, just giving like a little synopsis about who you are. So you guys want me to choose the order, or do you guys think that you can choose it?
This is your show. You should go ahead and choose the order.
That's right.
Okay, so okay, I'll just do it in alphabetical order then, I guess. Well, no, that's too much work. So I'll have, how about Sam? How about you go first?
Okay. My name is Sam, or Samantha. I'm a student at Bradley University, and I am a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, and I am currently the Vice President and the Secretary of the Theta Epsilon chapter.
Ooh, okay. Let's see, who's gonna go next? Jalen, how about you go next?
Can everyone hear me just fine?
Yep.
Excellent. Hello, everybody. My name is Jalen Bush. I am a senior aviation unmanned aircraft systems major at Lewis University. I am the vice president of the Noble Nu Epsilon chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated at Lewis University, and I'm happy to be here.
Okay, that's great. So next we will have Kendall. How about you then?
Hello, my name is Kendall Brooks. I am the second Grand Vice Polaris of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, which means I am the undergraduate representative and president of my fraternity. I currently attend the University of Illinois Gies College of Business, pursuing a master's in business management. I also received my undergraduate degree at the University of Illinois in political science. As of right now, I'm moving on to a full-time position to work at IBM as a federal consultant in Washington, DC. I'm really excited to be on the panel and tell you a little bit more about my fraternity.
Oh, okay, great. And also congratulations. Okay, let's see who's next. Skylar.
Hey guys, my name is Skylar Lemons. I'm a graduate of Howard University and an initiate of Kappa Alpha Psi Z chapter, Spring 16. I currently work at Accenture as a management consulting analyst. That's my 9 to 5, and then 5 to 9, I work as a real estate agent and a real estate investor. A little bit about me.
Okay, next.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm really excited.
My name is Corbin Bowen. I am a recent graduate from UIC. And I joined Sigma Gamma Rho spring of 19.
Okay, let's see who's next. Tony, how about you then?
How's everybody doing? Tony Yule, member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, graduate of Howard University, HU. Heard a fellow HU out there, so I wanted to say, well,
Next, Tammy, how about you then?
I am a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I live in Macomb, Illinois. I am an alderman here, an alderman at large, which is that we're going to have our first Black police chief who is an IOTA. So Kendall, get at me. So, you know, when he gets sworn in, y'all can show up and show out. I'm excited to be here.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's see who's next. Okay, Belby.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, fellow Greeks of the Divine Nine here as well. My name is Belby Foster, a member of Epsilon Chi Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, a business owner, and also the marketing and publicity co-chair for my chapter here in Chicago.
Okay, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's good about you.
You said Craig, right?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Told you about my connection. Hey, good evening, everybody. Name is Craig Stewart of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Pledged in spring of 1996, University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Actually went to school with Avery's father, one of my good friends from college. So happy to be on here as well. Thanks for the invite.
We have Miss Canada.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tamara Driver, and I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I was chapter located here in Chicago, and I currently serve in the Chi Sigma Omega chapter in the south suburbs because my mother, who is also my soror, was a charter member, and I wanted to be able to serve with my mom. I am the counseling department chairperson at Walter Payton College Prep High School here in the city, and I'm super excited to join the rest of the Divine Nine this evening.
Yes, it's so great to be able to have you all. I'm so sad because we did have Catherine Williams, who was a part of Zeta Phi Beta, but unfortunately she cannot join us tonight. So hopefully everything is well with her. But I'm so glad to be able to have the rest of you here with me tonight. I'm so excited to be able to talk to you all, learn about your experiences. So going on into the first question, what made you want to become a member of the organization that you're a part of? What kind of sparked that for you? And you can go in any particular order.
I'll answer that. So when I joined the chapter, they were gone for about 20 years from our campus at Western Illinois. So at the time, I actually didn't realize that I was a legacy. I actually found that out recently. So something that attracted me to that was the older sorors who did come down to speak with us were super open, super warm. And it just felt like home, which maybe you'll hear a lot tonight when everybody talks about their orgs. And I think that's the most important part when you're joining an organization, because it's for life and you want to feel connected to these people, because they are eventually going to be your brothers or your sisters within the sorority. So feeling like home, and then also having the honor and the privilege to be the rebirth of Sigma Gamma Rho at Western Illinois University. It was my pleasure to join that chapter.
That's really interesting.
So Avery, for me, I think it was a little bit of what Corbin said, just that feeling of being welcome and feeling at home and feeling like you belong with that organization. So for me at Bradley University, the number of Sigmas there was very small. So they definitely were not the largest organization on campus, but you know, just the interactions that I had with Phi Beta Sigma was one that made me feel like I could belong in this organization. It was more of feeling inclusive than being exclusive. So, you know, I think everyone's experience on their own campuses is unique, but I think there are some similarities that we all share, and we particularly choose organizations where we feel like we can contribute, we feel like we can be an asset to that organization, and we feel like we fit and we belong.
I can add on to that. With my own experience, and I agree with both of you. That is very similar to why I joined Alpha Phi Alpha. But something else that was very personal to me was I wanted to give back. I wanted to honor those people that worked so hard for me in my life through my childhood. My mother, that's one person, is actually a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So since I was about knee high, she showed me the way since then, and going to all the service events, all the leadership events when I was a small child. Guess who was around them the entire time without me knowing until recently? The Alphas. So it was always going to be Alpha for me. And I had my mother to thank for that. But it's definitely giving back to the people who showed me the way since I was little.
I see that, Sam, you have your hand up?
Yeah, Kendall had his hand up before me, so he could go.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Great, thanks. Well, mainly, of course, your mother is my mentor, one of my mentors. And I was surrounded by Deltas my whole entire life. Almost everybody I know, all of my mentors, everybody I looked up to is a Delta. But that is not the only thing that influenced me. I saw all of the things that they stood for as women in their communities, in their professions, their morals, their values, and that is what attracted me. And it brought me to Delta because it was all something they were all a part of, one big thing that they were all a part of, and one thing that they had in common. And I said, well, if these are the women that I look up to, this is also something that I want to join. This is also something that I want to contribute to. And then when I did get to Bradley, as he said, Bradley has a really, really small Black community. And the women there that were Deltas on campus, they graduated now, but they also really stood out amongst all of the other Black women on campus. And that also brought me to Theta Epsilon. They brought me in as a freshman, especially at a predominantly white institution. You don't have a lot of Black people to talk to. So you're like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. But then when I had all of them treating me as though I was family already and they barely knew my name, that also attracted me to the organization.
Okay. I also just wanted to let everyone know that Miss Catherine Williams, she was just able to join us. So it's glad to be able to have you. And can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So if you would like to introduce yourself, and then I can let you know the question that everyone is answering right now, that would be great.
Okay, thank you. First, I want to apologize for being late. I so apologize. My day has been crazy. But my name is Catherine Williams. I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I became a member in 1990 at the University of Illinois in Chicago through one of our city chapters called Psi Nu. Currently, I am a graduate member of Zeta chapter in Dalton, Illinois. Work-wise, I am a attorney. I graduated from John Marshall Law School, and I work as a contracting officer for the federal government. I also know Belvy, my Sigma brother. Actually, I was at Bradley with Belvy.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
where I found my love for Zeta, for the blue and white altogether. And I have been a member of the blue and white family since 1987, when I first ended up at Bradley. And that's me.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there are a lot of connections in here. I see. Sweet. So the question that everyone is answering right now, Kendall, I'm about to get to you in a second, is what made you want to join the organization that you're a part of? So Kendall, you wanted to answer that question?
Yes, yes. So I actually have a very interesting story. I entered my fraternity when I was actually a senior, so my path was a little different from a lot of the other students. Me going through the time at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, I kind of always thought to myself, well, you know, one day there'll be something that I would do, and I had an experience where over the summer I was interning at the House of Representatives, and I was interning under Congresswoman Kelley, who is a member of Sigma Gamma Rho. And one of the great thing about those experiences that I had was I started to realize a lot of the Black professionals that I looked up to in my life were actually part of one of these organizations. And I kept seeing that, you know, in my everyday interaction with a lot of Black professionals. And I saw kind of how that connected with my personal values. So when I came back to campus, the opportunity for the Alpha Lambda chapter at the University of Illinois to be reactivated. And from there, I really saw the opportunity that my fraternity can give me, as well as the platform that I now have, being the representative. It's really about finding something that worked for me, and as well as giving me the opportunity to seek in and basically pull out the most potential that they can from me.
I find that really interesting. I think that that's a great story, actually. Okay, let me see. I think I see in the chat that someone else had their hand up. So okay, Miss Tamara, you have your hands up?
That's me. Different from what everyone else has said, I actually joined Alpha Kappa Alpha after I graduated college. So I got my bachelor's degree from Loyola University Chicago, go Ramblers. And like Catherine was saying, at the time, the Alpha Kappa Alpha chapter was citywide. And that was something that wasn't interesting to me because all of the events would happen at DePaul. And if you know the city of Chicago, I was not trying to go from Rogers Park to Lincoln Park for all of the events that we would have. My mother has been a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha since 1968. And so I have grown up knowing nothing but, so I never felt that I would not become an AKA one day. So I didn't feel like an urgency to join when I was an undergraduate. And I like telling my students about this because many of them think that if you aren't able to join a Black Greek letter organization when you're in college, then it's over for you and like you can't do anything else, you can't continue to serve. And that's definitely not the case. And so not everybody has the ability to join when they're an undergrad. As many of you have said, your chapters were suspended, or they had not enough people on campus to keep them going. And so it sometimes can be challenging to enter as an undergraduate. I will say that I have enjoyed joining as a graduate. We do all the fun stuff that the undergrads do as well. So I don't feel like I've missed out on any of the fun stuff. I've just enjoyed the sisterhood. That's been probably the best part of it, is seeing my mother. They get together every Christmas. And when I was little, I would be so jealous because I wanted to go and hang out with like all my aunties. And my mom would be like, you can't come, you're not an AKA. And so then when I became an AKA, I was like, can I come? And she was like, no, you're not Delta Omicron. So I'm still left out of the fun stuff, but all of them have daughters and all of those daughters are AKAs. So we have our own little off group of like the daughters of Delta Omicron, and we hang out without them and make them feel jealous. So I've just loved the sisterhood and just getting to know my mother in a different way, because we have this additional connection of both being members of this organization.
I love that. I love how you were talking about like how the mother relationship kind of made it so like, oh, I definitely want to be a AKA. So that's something that I find really interesting. Ms. Catherine, I see that you had your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to also share why I became a member of Zeta. Back in high school, all those years ago, and when I first was trying to decide what school to go to, I took a trip to Bradley for like admitted student weekend or something like that. And I immediately saw the blue and white family. It was the silhouettes, the stigmas, and there was only a couple of Zetas on campus at the time.
Right.
But they were so warm and welcoming. I wasn't even sure I was going to Bradley, but after that weekend, I knew I'm going to Bradley. I'm going to be a Zeta. I'm going to start out as a silhouette. And that was the path I took. Once I got down there, Belvy and his frat have always been welcoming, very inclusive, helped you get around campus, helped you with your major and help you make decisions regarding classes. It was such a family feeling that it was an easy transition from home to school. And one of the reasons why I love being Greek at this point, now that I'm older, is even though you are a Zeta, it's like the lines become a little blurred when you are around your Greek families. My best girlfriend is an AKA. Some of my best friends are Delta. It's like the fact that you're in this Black Greek family it bonds you. It gives you something to build a relationship on. So I always encourage, if they're too busy school, if their majors are too hard, like Tamara said, I think her name is Tamara, there is nothing wrong with coming in through a graduate chapter. I strongly encourage it for those who may not have the Greek letter of the organization that they want to come through on their campus at this time. And it's a lifelong commitment. It's a life, I'm always happy to say I'm a Zeta. I'm always happy to say I'm Greek. That's my story.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sticking to it.
And I'm sticking to it, right, Belvy?
That's right. That's right.
I like that. Would anyone else like to add anything?
Well, Avery, I'll chime in real quick. And I'll admit from the time I was in high school, my lenses were a little bit jaded already towards, the being a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. My sister is actually one of the charter members of SGRO and at Missouri State University. And so the gentleman she was dating at the time was a Kappa as well. So I kind of went to my university kind of already, like I said, jaded lenses on wanting to identify or at least scope out to see what this organization was about. And upon arrival, it was pretty much identical to what I was seeing from the folks that my sister had exposed me to. It just, like everyone else is saying, to kind of echo everyone else's sentiment, that it was the feeling of inclusive, that I belong, that this organization is actually for me. It not just because, my sister, exposed me to it and her boyfriend and, her boyfriend's friends and all that stuff. So it was just a good feeling to get, to campus and actually see that these guys are what they were built up to be from my family. So that's my story.
That's a very interesting story, actually. I'm surprised I've never heard that one before.
Your dad probably could tell you some stories about me.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Miss Tammy. I see that you have your hand up.
Yes, let me put my hand down. My story is a little similar to Tamara's. I was interested in undergraduate, but it didn't happen because I was a transfer student. And according to the regulations then, you needed to have a grades to have a transcript from the university you were attending. And then I stopped in the middle to do an internship in St. Louis at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And then I went back to school, and then I stopped to do another internship with the diversity. So I was all over the place. I just knew I wanted to do things and serve people, but it didn't work out that I was able to do a process when I was at undergraduate at Eastern Illinois University. So I did the most crazy route. I drove across states a lot from Macomb, which is near the Mississippi River, to Lake Michigan. I slept in rest areas. I slept in truck stops. I changed clothes in trucker bathrooms. Like I had a full-time job. I have a full family at home, and I would leave in the middle of the night and sleep in as much as I could. And I would tell the clerk that I'm outside, please look at the car, make sure I'm okay. I'm gonna come in here and tell you that I'm leaving when it's time for me to go. And then I'll show up at home like 5, 6 a.m. because I've slept all night so I can go back and forth to Chicago. So that was a challenge, but it also showed my determination that I thought Sigma was for me. And I still feel that when I was at Eastern, the women there were warm, they were nice, and they were all different. And I'm socially awkward, and I'm a beekeeper, and I do roller derby, and I garden barefooted, and I do a lot of things, and I don't fit a lot of boxes. And so the women of Sigma, they had always welcomed me when I was a younger person who, was into anime and comic books before that was popular. And then, now I dress up for Comic-Con, and they still don't think I'm awkward. Actually, I see a couple of sorors there when I go to Comic-Con. So I just felt like just like everyone else here, I feel like I fit in, and it worked for me.
Oh, that's a nice story. That's actually something really interesting as well. Because I'm like, oh, you don't have to all be like the same exact person to feel like you all fit into a family. And I feel like that's something that I find with Greek letter organizations that's really interesting. Is there anyone else that would like to chime in? All right, we can move on to the next question that I have for you all, which is, how have your organizations individually and collectively been a part of Black history?
I feel like you're going to hear the same story over and over again, because all of our organizations probably have very similar programs to help the Black community specifically, but also globally, just providing service, because we're all service organizations. And so the way that we go about it might be slightly different, but that's the one thread that you can pull through all of our different organizations, is that we were all founded to serve Black people in a time when Black people weren't being served by this country. And so you'll probably hear from all of us educational endeavors that we all have embarked upon. Like I said, global endeavors that all of us have embarked upon, political endeavors that we have all embarked upon. That's the one thing I love about being a member of the Divine Nine, is that there's so much similarity between each of our organizations, and then collectively we can have an even bigger impact on just our globe, our entire planet.
I completely agree. I'm sorry for cutting you off. That's everybody in this Zoom call. Each of us represent some of the best elements of Black excellence through history. For Alpha Phi Alpha, I could say one of the biggest, most prominent members we've had in history was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., for example. And that's just one example for Alpha, but everybody in this chat can name at least one prominent hero in American Black history, someone that has affected the very fabric of our existence for today. And that's the beauty of the Divine Nine, as she said just a moment ago. It's awesome. And living that legacy, living that continued mission of service and advocacy for our communities is why are we all wearing our letters today? And it's nothing short of an honor and a privilege to carry on the work after such heroes, so to speak. That's word.
I like that.
I'm gonna piggyback that just a little bit because one thing to keep in mind is that, and that it's been said that we all have our mandated programs, we all have our service projects, we all have our different activities that we do that uplift the community in some shape, form, or fashion. There are even activities that we do collectively, blood drives, voter registrations, things of that nature that go on in joint efforts across both fraternities and sororities. So it's not just that, a lot of times, I mean, within the organizations, yeah, we always, hey, we're the best. But at the same time, it's ultimately all about, kind of working towards a common goal of uplifting the community at large.
Would anyone else like to chime in?
I would like to chime in. So one of the things that I kind of think about when it comes to how Iota Phi Theta has contributed to Black history as a whole is, I kind of think about some of our brothers who might have not gotten the recognition that they deserve. And I think, and one of the brothers that I think of is Congressman Bobby Rush, who was actually a member of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. And one of the things that a lot of people don't know is he was an active Black Panther, and he was an active activist within the Chicagoland area. And the thing is one of the principles of, Iota for me, especially is for all my brothers is, building upon, your own foundation and then building a tradition and not resting upon one. And one of the things that I strive for myself is to one day be that, one day be the change that I want to see, one day be that name that I read about in the books about, great Iotas that's come from my fraternity, especially from my chapter. And I think that's something that inspires a lot of the youth who are in these undergraduate chapters all across the country. We all see these lessons and we see these stories, and inspires us to one day strive to be that and even better.
I like that message a lot, and I feel like it can be taken from all of your organizations. That's really interesting. Would anyone else like to put in their input?
Can I add something to that too?
Yes, of course.
Sure. Kendall, I really love what you said. And, I look back a lot through history. I tried to connect the dots to how we've started to where we're going and where we are right now. And we look back to our founders, our prominent members, even the brothers and sisters that we know in these organizations. And you realize that the best actions, some of their best endeavors came to them or began while they were in college. That was ages 18 to like 25 kids. Some of the most influential movements were led by kids. The civil rights era, the apartheid movement, for example, in South Africa. You can see that through history in multiple different pushes for social justice, for inclusion, for leadership. They're led by college kids. And everyone in here is a college educated brother or sister, just like some of these prominent members. And, when you realize that greatness starts with you. And once you achieve that potential, once you realize that greatness starts with you, then you can set this world on fire. And you could really change the world for the better. But I just wanted to add that on to what Kendall said.
I really like that. That is really inspirational. And one thing that I know that a lot of people, also specifically in my age, may not know, but who are some prominent members of your organization?
I mean, our first female vice president, you may have heard of her, Kamala D. Harris, who came from Howard. I'll let y'all scream the HU. But I love all of the HBCU representation that we have here. And I think that that's an important thing to mention as well. It's like, not only is she the first female vice president, but she came from an historically Black university. And I think that just adds to the legitimacy of HBCUs and just makes them even more well-known than anyone knew before. Your average person probably didn't know a whole lot about them, but are learning more as time goes. But I think all of us can name somebody who's famous in the arts and music and politics, and we have, you know, we incorporate ourselves everywhere.
That's really interesting. And also, I knew for a fact that you were going to say Kamala Harris. I just knew it. And okay, he can't not Kamala Harris. That's something that
Yeah, I was also going to just add on that Kamala Harris is a Z chapter sweetheart, and so yeah, we definitely do love her at Howard. For Capitol, some of our notable members are Cedric the Entertainer, and then we also have Reginald Lewis, who's the first African American billionaire in the United States. And so those are just some of ours. He was a Harvard law grad. He was just like a really good businessman. So people should definitely educate themselves on him as well.
that's interesting.
For
sorry.
for Sigma Gamma Rho, we have Sor Robin Kelley. We have MC Light. And then we also have the notable Hattie Mcdaniels, who actually broke through with, I believe, not Gone with the Wind. But she was actually kind of just like the first face we got to see, but there were still injustices, right? So like, even when she went up to accept her acceptance speech, she had to go through the back way. And, you know, like they wouldn't even shake her hand. So we were still continuing to fight oppression. And I just want to circle back to like kind of what everybody's been saying, like when you are in a Greek organization, you are automatically being excellent, right? Because you have to be a college person, like you're either educated or going to be educated. And I mean, all of my sorors, they make me proud every single day. You know, I have some who are in med school, some who are going to be pharmacists or just entrepreneurs opening businesses. So you want to surround yourself by people who you aspire to be like. And when you have great faces, I mean, you know, Vice President Harris, she's not my soror, but just as much, like I will advocate for excellence because she's still a Black minority person of color, and that's still important.
A few I'd like to name, Avery, would be Congressman John Lewis, very influential in the civil rights movement. Les Brown, Al Sharpton, Al Roker. We have a number of celebrities as far as a TV show, Ben Vereen, Terrence Howard. So, you know, I think all of our organizations can, and we've proven that now that, you know, you can name quite a few that are in various areas of either politics or entertainment or sports. And, you know, that's something that we can all be proud of. And when it's all said and done, you know, even no matter what our colors say and what our organizations represent, we can still blur those lines and cross those lines and still be proud that, you know, Kamala Harris is the first female African-American vice president. We can be proud of, you know, other members of other organizations that are doing things for our community, because, you know, once we take these colors off, you know, underneath the t-shirts and the letters, you know, we're African Americans, you know, and we've got a lot to be proud of for our communities, regardless of what organization is represented in each of these spaces, whether it's politics or entertainment or sports and so on.
That's interesting. I like that. Would anyone else like to add before moving on to our next question?
Yes, I would like to add. Of course, there's deltas everywhere, just like for everybody else. But some that really touched base with me is Shirley Chisholm, who was the first Black Congresswoman. Recently passed Soror Cicely Tyson. May she rest in peace, yes. we have a lot of sorors in entertainment, soror Aretha Franklin, soror Angela Bassett, soror Keisha Lance Bottoms, who's the mayor of Atlanta. So they're all over, just like everybody else, but I definitely wanted to give credit to those.
Yes, yes. Would anyone else like to add anything?
Yeah, Avery, this is Catherine again. For Zeta, we had, like everyone has stated, you know, we covered the gambit of everything in regards to members of our Greek letter organizations, Sorors Neil Hurston, Soror Janet Du Bois, Soror Cheryl Underwood. But just to piggyback off of what Frat Belvy was saying, I am proud to be a member, to just be a Black woman, and my AKA soror is now Vice President of the United States. Even though she wears pink and green and I wear blue and white, the fact that she came from Howard and she's an African American woman makes us all proud. So we can list off names of all of these individuals, and we're proud of each and every one of them, no matter what organization they are affiliated with.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I love when talking to you guys. I feel like I personally have been able to learn about the family bond, because even though you guys may wear different colors and be a part of different organizations, at the end of the day, you're still there to support and care for each other. So that's something that I find that's really inspirational. And one thing that I want to know, because I know a lot of people may be wondering this, but how has being a part of your organizations impacted your professional lives?
Well, that's a very interesting one, Avery, and I think everyone here can attest that being a part of this organization, you know, a Greek letter organization or any organization has its benefits, and you know, there's definitely strength in numbers, and the ability to connect with someone that's in your organization that can help you achieve some of your professional goals. It's unyielding. I mean, it's this you know, the organizations that we're a part of, there's a never-ending flow of just the willingness of people to help you. You know, whether it's your fraternity brother, your sorority sister, they're going to help you get to your goals, because you know that's part of what we were founded on. You know, to be able to help each other and build each other up.
Okay.
One thing I will say, I'll tell a very specific story. I was at a Howard career day, and I was carrying like we have like Kappa Alpha Psi briefcase that we carry around campus. I had my suit on and everything, and I walked past the Boeing table, and the recruiter at Boeing happened to be a noob, and so I was talking to him. He was telling the young lady that was working with him, like, to make sure that I got an interview. And so essentially from there, like, they didn't have any more business interviews. They were only interviewing for engineering roles. But he made sure that, like, they made an interview, and then I went on to get like a Boeing internship and lived in Seattle for summer. A lot of cool stuff like that. And so it's had like very direct payoffs. Another thing I will say is that even though like to speak on the family aspect, a lot of times, like, when people would come to Howard and interview us, even if they weren't a part of like my organization, if they were just a part of the Divine Nine, they would kind of like look out, and it would kind of be like that special connection there. And so it definitely helps just in general, and especially when you get into like a space like corporate America, where there's not a lot of African Americans or not a lot of people that look like you in general. You will like reach out to like that ally that's in a different frat than you, or like, you know, like somebody in a sorority or whatever. You do kind of create that special bond with them as well.
Okay, I'm starting to see that being a part of these organizations do actually help your professional life a lot. Miss Tammy, I see that you have your hand up.
I actually agree with the brother as well. When I came in the sorority, I had a bachelor's degree. And when I was graduating, you know, it was just pretty much just finish school and then get a job. But I was in a chapter with more than 100 women who had advanced degrees. And a lot of them got advanced degrees while they had babies, they were single mothers, they had full families. And I always thought that it would just never be the right time to do another degree because it's just absolutely impossible. But I'm seeing women, you know, are my mother's age who are taking classes and going to school. So I decided to go to grad school because I figured if they can do it, I can do it too. So that really inspired me. And at that time, I was also working at a law office, and the sorority had asked for, it was like an all call for anyone who's in the legal field. And I was like, well, I work at a law office. I do, you know, briefs and file things in court, and I think I could be of service to the sorority. And so I was able to be on the law and legal committee to do investigations. And so I feel like, and then I wanted to run for office. There's sorors in my chapter who have been in politics, or there's other sorority sisters, you know, in the Divine Nine and fraternity brothers that, you know, they all were like supporting me, sending me messages, encouraging me. So I don't think I would have had that support. And I think unlike other Greek organizations outside the D9, that no matter our color, we feel that we're family, that we really support each other. We may, you know, tease each other just like family members would tease each other about, you know, you made the wrong choice, you should have been over here. Like, them colors would look a lot better if they were my colors. But
sibling rivalry.
Yes, it's always sibling rivalry, but we really support each other. We look out for each other. And because I'm on a college campus, I don't see that it's a competition more of anything with other Greeks. And so I think it's definitely a family with us.
Mm-hmm. That's something that I can definitely see, especially with living with two people that are both part of Greek organizations and having family that are part of Greek organizations. I see that little sibling rivalry a bit often, but it's very interesting. And I see that, Sam, I see that you have your hand up.
Yes, I do. I'll take my hand down now. So I always wanted to be a teacher my whole entire life. I'm a middle school math major. So I wanted to be a teacher my whole entire life. I knew that. But when I started out at Oakdale Christian Academy, and then I transferred to Vanderpool Humanities Academy. And when I did, all of my teachers were Deltas. When I tell you all of them, literally all of them, the school was full of Deltas. And I was like, I was just taken by it. I literally was taken, but it wasn't that they were Deltas. It was how much I actually loved learning and how much they made me love learning. And I was like, I gotta be a teacher. I gotta do it. Like at this point, my decision is made. I don't wanna do anything else. And now that I'm in school, I literally cannot picture myself doing anything else but being a teacher. Now, trust me, I've had times, now that I'm student teaching, I've had times I'm like, Ma, why did I choose this profession? But then I'm like, I've been inspired by so many women that are educators, including your mom. Like I hated math going into high school, and now I'm a math major. I'm a math education major. She made me love being in my math classes, learning how to do it, the steps and everything. So just being around educators that were Deltas was very inspiring to me.
Can see and kind of seeing like how, oh, back when you were in high school, like, oh, I really didn't like doing this, I didn't like it at all, and kind of to see that transition when you got to college, like now it's something that you're majoring in and you really want a profession in. Like that's something that's really cool, and I'm glad that Delta has been able to help you with that. And who's the next person with their hand up? I see that Kendall, I see that you had your hand up next after Sam.
Yes. So professionally with me, I do have a very interesting story because for me, I always was very professional minded. But when I became an IOTA, it trampolined me and it trajected me into honestly a different field than I already was in. Me personally, I knew that I wanted to do something in business for the longest of times, and I wanted to do something in politics or something within the federal government. But me meeting the brothers that I met, you know, me being in the position I'm in and being able to network with, you know, hundreds of brothers that are in different fields that are interested to me, it really sharpened me and really made me kind of into the person I am today. One thing that we all know is finding a job is really hard, but you know, when you have brothers who are in key areas and who are executives at multiple levels in different organizations and firms, it's very it's very useful, and that network is just such a useful tool for a lot of students. And I try to, you know, explain that, and I try to tell other students as well. It's not just oh, you get to wear a jacket or something like that. This is something that's going to propel you into the professional world, so you can prepare yourself to be, you know, an outstanding citizen in your society as well as in the Black community.
I like how you kind of know where you wanted to go, but then after you met people, then afterwards it kind of like, oh, it helped boosted that a little bit. So that's something that I find that's really cool. Next up, I see Miss Tamara, you had your hand up after Kendall.
Yeah, I wanted to just mention something a little different that I think all of our organizations have, and that is when you join a Black Greek letter organization, your organization has leadership workshops for members. Every other year, Alpha Kappa Alpha hosts an international conference all about leadership. And so in order to kind of maintain, you know, leadership of our own and then being able to go out into the community and lead, it's nice to be able to take advantage of those opportunities presented to you by your own organization. I always tell people when they are like, oh my God, Ms. Driver, you can run a meeting. Absolutely. Y'all better be glad we're not using Robert's Rules of Order in this department meeting today. And I got all that from Alpha Kappa Alpha. It's like, we have to have an agenda. This is what we have to do. We have action items. We have to do this. We have to do that. And all of that comes from just leadership opportunities that I've had in my organization, but also being able to attend workshops and conferences. We have members, of course, in every aspect, every type of professional career. And so it's nice to be able to go and be in a room full of Alpha Kappa Alpha educators from across the country and be able to discuss different things and different strategies, but just also learning how to lead within the organization. A lot of those skills are very much transferable outside of the organization. And so that's definitely helped me professionally.
I see. That's actually really cool. You guys are like influencing me like really bad right now. Like this is not okay. But next, Jalen, I see that you have your hand up.
Awesome, thank you. So I'll piggyback off of what Ms. Tamara just said a moment ago. Professionally, Alpha made me look into what they had to offer first. So at the chapter level, you know, we have our chapter meetings where we have to come up with agendas and we have to organize a budget and network with other organizations on our campus, with other chapters in the state, in the region. And when we do go to district conventions, we meet more brothers, shake more hands, go to different workshops that are available for us to understand how to run the chapter, how to be a better man, how to be a better person. We learn these skills throughout everything through Alpha, and something I've been blessed enough to do in my experience over the past 3 years. Back in 2019, I applied to the Alpha Leadership Academy. And what that is essentially was Alphas from all over the country, college brothers, descended to Baltimore, Maryland. We stayed at Johns Hopkins University for about a week, and we learned all about leadership, about how to be a team player. We had the opportunity to go up to DC and meet Alphas on the Hill. We saw the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial there. So what I'm trying to say is everything that Alpha had to offer, I was sure to take advantage of it and meet brothers that could give me a little bit of wisdom, help me fill in gaps in my leadership development, which in turn made me a professional.
Oh my gosh. I'm at loss for words right now, and I'm trying to be like as professional as possible. But right now, I'm at loss for words because all of this is just so empowering to me. And I know it is for the audience members too. And lastly, I see that Sam, you have something that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I really just wanted to add that, like, when I joined my organization, or for all of Divine Nine organizations, like, your organization becomes your network as much as it becomes your family. So I know a lot of educators now, and I know that if I really was struggling, severely struggling in my profession, I could contact so many sorors and just say, hey, I'm really struggling. What can I do? How can you help me? And they're always open to helping, because those are your sisters or your brothers. They are willing to help you, and they're always going to be there regardless, just because you have one thing in common, and that's being in your sorority. or your fraternity. So one thing for me is that Delta became my network, and it also became my family, but moreover my network more than anything.
Okay. I need to compose myself really quick. This is actually really interesting. And lastly, okay, I really want to get to this too. Jalen, you have something that you wanted to add after Sam as well?
No.
Oh,
but was there? Oh, I'm sorry. My hand was. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. It just popped up all of a sudden for me, so I thought that you'd just raise your hand. But what Sam said actually helps lead us into our very last question, and it is, what would you want my generation to know about choosing a fraternity or sorority to be a part of? What are some things that you think that would be key for them to be able to know?
I think as an undergraduate, it's important to first know that, like, with the play, with the strolling, with the parties, whatever it is going to be, it is work. And I think that was a big realization for my chapter, because like I said, we were gone for so long that we were all so excited. We were just like, oh, we're Greek, we could wear our letters now around campus. But it's like, yeah, but you have chapter later. So make sure you have your reports ready, get it all together. But also that in that you're supposed to be representing not only yourself, but your organization. And I think for young people, sometimes we have the stigma that we're very selfish and we only care about ourselves and our own image. And I think that really does help prepare you for just life, right? Like if you go into a job interview, like you're representing everything that your parents or your mentors or whoever put into you. So you have to show the best version of yourself. I knew that from the way our founders, founded Sigma Gamma Rho, like I had no other option but to be that beacon for other young people. So I think joining a sorority or being interested in one, it's a call to service, but it's also just a call to be great and to reach your full potential in life.
I find that really empowering, and I'm pretty sure all of our audience members are too, but I feel like those are good things to consider, and I'm glad that you were able to mention that. Mr. Belvey, I see that you have something to add.
Sure. So my advice would be to any undergraduate student that's interested in a fraternity or sorority is to look very closely at the members that are local to that campus. And the reason I say that is, oftentimes students may go to college and they may have a preconceived notion that, hey, I'm going to be part of this organization, or they may be a legacy, saying, hey, my mom is in this organization, or my dad is in this organization, and I have to be that. But that's not necessarily the case. And it's okay to really take a close look at the members that are local to that campus and really ask yourself, do you fit? And if you feel that you're not a good fit for that organization on that campus, it may simply just mean on that campus. And I think some of the members that are on the panel now did not join the organizations in the undergraduate capacity, and they waited until graduate chapter for whatever reason. Could be any of a number of reasons why they did not. But it's okay to not choose the organization on that campus if you feel you're not going to be a fit, because if you don't feel like you're a good fit, you won't give your all to that organization. So it's kind of like you're joining something and that you don't get along with these girls or you don't get along with these guys. You're not going to participate in the service projects. You're not going to participate in the fundraisers. You're going to really distance yourself more than bring yourself together. So, that would be my advice. Look closely at the folks that you have to be around in that undergraduate campus. And if it's not for you, you can either choose another organization or wait until graduate to join that organization if you feel like you just want to be part of that Greek letter family.
I'm gonna need to take a little mental note about that. So next we have Mr. Tony. I see that your hand is up.
Okay, I'm not sorry. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I could or piece of advice that I could give is a couple of things. One, be prepared to work. Two, be prepared to find yourself. I know a number of people have gone through a process and really it makes you do a lot of soul searching. So you really have the opportunity to kind of figure out who you are, what you're about. You wind up pushing yourself further than you thought you might be able to go. You know, depending on, you know, where you're at and what's going on, it really can show you kind of your path. I know that I was kind of procrastinating. It's funny because I kind of procrastinated on getting my MBA, but I went through my process, and immediately after, I was like, I don't know why I've been waiting so long, but I immediately went and got my MBA. Like, it was just one of those, you know what? I've been playing. Like, I need to really buckle down, settle in, get it done. And it really kind of, like I say, really helps you to kind of find yourself. So
See that it's like a self-discovery type of thing too. So I find that very interesting. Let's see, Miss Tamara, I see that you have your hand up as well.
So besides being ready to work, I would say to people who are considering joining a Black Greek letter organization, be ready to make a financial commitment as well. This is not cheap. This is expensive. This is I know people who have like separate accounts that they keep their like travel money, and I want to go to this conference, or I want to buy this cute little sweater, or this jacket, or I need to travel with my luggage that is all, you know, got all my signs and the symbols and the things on it. So it is a monetary commitment as well. But I would also like to young people to know that you don't have to wait until you get into college to start exploring Black Greek letter life. All of us have programs for younger people. And so if you go to any of our websites, and all of our organizations have public facing websites, you can find out about information that you can join when you're in high school, different types of programming that we might have for high schoolers or for middle schoolers. And so I encourage people to start taking a look now, if that's something that they know about. Many of us have talked about having like an educator or like an older person in our life who influenced us that was in a Black Greek letter organization. I always wear my lanyard when I'm at work. And I have had thousands of conversations with young people about what it's like for Greek life. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to do a lesson next week with our Black Student Union. I might just show them this video instead because this has been amazing. But you can start doing some things when you're in high school and kind of get a feel for the service, and get a feel for the organization, the history behind it. And so I encourage young people to check that out.
That's very interesting. And you said that's on all of your websites, correct?
I know it's on, because I was looking for a student. So I'm pretty sure it's on everybody's website, because I was giving the names out to a parent who was looking for mentorship opportunities for their son. So I checked and saw that you all have good things going on for the young people. So I recommend people do that now. I mean, you don't have to wait till you get to college.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know. That's good to know. So young people watching this, take a little mental note, and then after the show, go and check that out. And let's see. Sam, I see that you have your hand up.
Yes. Well, some things that I would say that I would give advice for is, first, I do agree with knowing the chapter and how that is important, and knowing what they stand for on campus and the people that they are is very important, because you're going to be working with them and you have to get along with them. If you don't, it will tear the chapter apart. And that's something that you don't want to do. Secondly, I think that you have to know yourself and be grounded in yourself and your morals and everything that you stand for, to be an effective part of the chapter and to be an effective part of the organization. You definitely have to be grounded and know who you are. And then on top of that, you have to be willing to become very selfless, because when you're in this organization, you can't be selfish. It's all about giving back, and it's all about being a part of something that you're going to have to take your personal things away from. Like, you might have to say, well, hey, I can't do this today because I joined this organization. I joined this lifetime commitment that I have to commit myself to. So those personal things, like going shopping or going to get your nails done, sometimes you got to let that go. And you got to say, well, I have to become a little more selfless and to help my sisters or my organization out. So, and I've learned that, especially from my ships. They taught me how to be selfless in so many ways. So I really think that's important.
That's very good to know. That's very good to know. And I'm going to get to Jalen, and then afterwards, Ms. Catherine, and then we'll wrap it up. So Jalen.
Thank you. All of your advice that you've said, everyone, all these panelists, is 100% correct. And I would probably add two more things everyone, I think, missed. Number one, know your history. Definitely know your history. Once you look back at history, you see the dots start to connect. You see where these organizations have developed and where we've gone since the beginning. So definitely know your history, number one. Number two, get involved with your community. You know, you learn how to be a professional in college, sure. You learn how to be a better person in these organizations, but why not? Why wait? Why wait until college? So get involved with your high school's Black Student Union, get involved with the student government, get involved with the local election that's happening up the road from where you live. Something I was involved with back in high school, and actually I began this experience with this organization when I was in the 7th grade. It's another fraternity type organization called Top Teens of America. Shout out to TTA. I was a top teen back in the day, and there's plenty of other organizations like that. I know Jack and Jill is another similar one, but definitely get involved young. And that is how you become a little more professional. And by the way, from earlier, shout out to Creative Kai class of the Alpha Leadership Academy. So shout out to Creative Kai real quick.
All right, shout out. I see. And lastly, I saw that Miss Catherine had her hand up.
Yes, I did, but I think everybody has said what I wanted to say. So I'll just, I guess, give kudos to this great forum that you had and the members of the Divine Nine. It's a lot of good information, and I really appreciate the invitation to participate. But yeah, everything everybody said was exactly how I was feeling going into college, trying to decide if this was something I wanted to do and which organization, you know, I wanted to join, and what I tell to my child and my nieces and nephews that's in that same position now. So thanks, Avery. Great job.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to be able to have all of you with me this evening. We can do some snaps or claps, whichever one you guys prefer. Let's just do some snaps, make it a little bit easier for ourselves. But thank you so much to each and every one of you for being on the show with me tonight. It has been a pleasure. And do any of you guys have any parting words you would like to share? Any shout outs, any of that?
Well, let me just say one thing real quick. It's funny because as being on the panel, you know, as well, you know, I know your mom, but also Jalen, I know your mother, Skylar, I know your mother. And I feel like if I went along and I look back, we're all kind of connected, you know, which is a really great thing. Even though we're across different organizations, it still is all family. Because, like I say, I'm, you know, I know Tamara. I think I know someone. I just can't. It's on the tip. I just can't put a finger on it. Now watch. When we get off, I'll remember it. I'll be like, that's where it is. So, but. Like I say, one of the things to just keep in mind is that even though we are part of different organizations, we are all still family. So,
everybody knows my mother. That's wow. But he's right. Small world.
Yeah, it's a very small world. Like, I'm connected to each and every one of you in some sort of way. Like Uncle Craig, my uncle, that was here all my life. Sam, I think, oh my gosh, I have known you forever. With Tamara, I've also known forever. Like, everyone here connected in some sort of way. So I'm really glad that I was able to speak with you all tonight. Hugs and love. I hope you guys will all be safe, stay safe, especially with this crazy weather. So everyone, please stay safe. And I hope that you guys all have a great evening. Thank you.
Amazing job. Thank you for having us.
Good job.
Thank you.
Great job,
Contact
Avery.
information in the chat if you
care,
guys want to reach out to me.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. You guys have a great one.
Y'all be safe.
Stay safe.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it got darker. Maybe it's because it got darker outside, but I hope that you guys enjoyed. I have to be so honest, that may or may not be one of my favorite Teendom talk show episodes, not just because it's the Divine Nine, but I loved everyone that was on that panel. I have to be honest, my voice sounded a lot different than maybe it was like really high pitched. Like I was talking like this, which is something that's a little embarrassing for me to watch back, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed and learned more about the Divine Nine, because I love the Divine Nine, and I get at loss for words out of all of the amazing things that they are doing. So please make sure to do your research and check them out. And also, I hope that every single person viewing, whether or not you are still viewing, you are rewatching it from on a later date, like tomorrow or the day after, that you make sure to take time out for yourself as much as possible, because it is very important. And I'm so glad that we had the ability to touch on that during this episode. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you. It has been like an hour and 30 minutes, I think. So you guys have definitely been hanging in here. So thank you for watching this week's Teendom Talk Show episode. Next week, once again, is a very special week because it is our 2nd year anniversary, and it does not feel like it has been that long, but it has been, which is just crazy to me. So make sure to go on my Instagram at Avery K and let me know some things that you may want to be able to see for next week's episode. And this is Avery Kelley, you're the host of Teendom Talk Show, and we will see you back here